everyone, and welcome. I'm really glad you could join us tonight for the session on enhancing dementia care with SSLD approach. My name is Kim Wang. I'm a registered social worker in Ontario, Canada. And today I'll be co-facilitating the session with Professor Ka Tat Tsang, my deeply respected professor who developed the Strategies and Skills Learning and Development System, also known as SSLD. Let me quickly walk you through what we will be covering tonight. So we'll start with a brief introduction to our new modules on our Coursera course on dementia care. And then we'll dive into a basic introduction to SSLD framework, especially how it helps to understand problems in terms of human needs. And then we'll take a look at the dementia from a global perspective and talk about the crucial role informal caregivers play in this space. And then we'll move into a real world case study with Mr. John Carter to see how these ideas come together in real practice. And finally, as I mentioned earlier, we'll leave a time for discussion and Q&A, so please jot down any thoughts or questions as we go. Well, let's get started. So, in 2025, our team actually uploaded three brand new modules in dementia care on Coursera, including Dr. Chu, a professor at U of T and a cardiologist from St. Michael Hospital, talking about vascular dementia care. And then we have Dr. Yu, a professor in clinical pathology and cell biology in Columbia University's top institute for research on Alzheimer's disease. And finally, we will have a session focused on memory, identity, and innovation from Dr. Morgan Barons, who is currently directing the Toronto Neuroimaging Facility. And I would like to invite Tad to speak on the three different modules, if possible. Thank you, Tad.
Thank you, Kim. I just want to say that I feel very privileged to be working at the University of Toronto. I cannot really count the number of University of Toronto professors who have some research interest in dementia. I don't think it is even an exaggeration for me to say that there are probably over 100 world-class scholars, researchers, who are looking into very specific areas of dementia. So my friend Chi Ming, who is a cardiologist by training, also a full professor with our Faculty of Medicine, um, for instance, has always been very interested in vascular dementia and has been a strong advocate in the community for more attention, more resources, and for more understanding and research. Currently, Chiming and I are working together on exploring AI-powered tools for helping patients who have suffered from cardiovascular conditions. And he has been, for instance, using AI to read electrocardiograph or ECGs. He has also used AI to create a podcast to popularize information and latest research and clinical knowledge for people struggling with cardiovascular conditions and including vascular dementia. So Ho or Professor Wei Hong Yu used to be at Columbia, but we're lucky to have been able to recruit him from New York to come here and join us. So he is now working on a few very interesting projects. I know that Emma, you self-identified to be Chinese, so this is maybe of interest to you. As a molecular biologist, Ho is looking at how bodies of different ethnocultural groups might respond differently to different pharmaceutical agents or different drugs that are currently being developed targeting dementia. So that is one of the things that he's very interested in. The general assumption in pharmaceutical research in the past is that like all human bodies are similar. So if a drug works for one group of people, it is likely to work in another group. But like Ho has found evidence that it is not that simple. So he is offering a more nuanced approach to the people who are on the leading edge of pharmaceutical research targeting, especially, I would say, Alzheimer's. Um, M- Morgan, Morgan Behrens is another colleague with our psychology department, who was educated in the world's most prestigious institutions, including Harvard. And she has been like researching into memory and how it can be improved even when people have been diagnosed with dementia. I got in touch with Morgan when I first developed my play intervention with dementia program, which shares the same objective because we both want to find non-pharmaceutic interventions that can help people strengthen their cognitive abilities and arrest the decline in different areas of cognitive facilities. So Morgan and I have been like talking to each other for a long time, and so we had the privilege to interview her for her to talk about her journey in research focusing on dementia. And her latest development is a patented creation called the Hippo camera. And if you Google Morgan Behrens, if you go into the module that we have created for you here, you'll find more information. So these three new modules reflects our ongoing effort to bring the latest research, the best knowledge available to people taking this course. These may not be of like popular appeal, like not everyone is interested in like technical top subjects, but we are offering this as an additional set of resources for people who want to know more, and you can actually hear directly from the world's top researchers in this field. And we will continue doing this. And if you stay tuned with us, we will keep telling you about what are the latest development, not only from the University of Toronto. We're reaching out to people. We are talking to colleagues in other parts of the world, and hopefully we can always bring you um, the new developments and the researchers like speaking to us from the leading edge of research and knowledge regarding dementia care.
Right. Thank you so much for sharing, Professor Tang. It is really helpful, and I hope people can go to our course to check our newest developed modules. And then I think because the time is chasing us now, so I'll just quickly jump to the next slides. So the next slides actually brings together the two key ideas from SSLD. And these two citations you can see over here are directly from the book Learning to Change Lives, The Strategies and Skills Learning and Development Approach by Professor Ka Tat Tsang, published in 2013. So we understand that some of you may be new to this system, so we'll just offer a brief introduction here to set the stage. So first, SSLD is described as a learning system. So it is designed to help people grow, not by diagnosing or treating them, but then supporting them in learning new strategies and skills that are more effective in meeting their needs and achieving their goals. The SSLD system doesn't see people as problems to be fixed, but as individuals with the potential for development and change. And the second quote over here points to a shift in perspective. In many traditional mental health and social service settings, challenges are framed in clinical terms as symptoms, disorders, or even pathology. But SSLD invites us to look deeper. So, what if the behavior we are seeing are actually represent the unmet needs And what if the strategies someone is using to meet those needs are simply ineffective or were never quite right to begin with? And this shift is especially meaningful in dementia care. When we stop interpreting behaviors as disruptive and meaningless, instead, we kind of want to ask what needs might be behind this. Whether it's a need for connection, safety, or even recognition, we begin to respond with more compassion, more clarity, and more effectiveness. And Tad, I I'm so sorry to interrupt your drink over here, but I hope you could share some insights on SSLD and how does it relate it to dementia care.
So thank you, Kim. Like no worries. I'm drinking my tea here. Okay. So what I just want to add is that the need orientation has over the last 2 decades proven to be ultra helpful in many ways. One is that like if you look at like dementia care worldwide, even if you're talking about people who had like a very successful career, who have been elevated to key positions in society. You can be talking about like the former president of the United States or the former prime minister of the UK, like Margaret Thatcher. When you have developed dementia, one of the things that people tend to ignore or neglect is your need that can include the need for activity, the need for a healthy diet of sensory stimulation, the need for intimacy, the need for emotional engagement. So even if you're wealthy and powerful and well connected politically, there is no guarantee that those needs will be met. Not to mention people who are of lower socioeconomic status, people of limited means, marginalized communities, or marginalized sectors of the population, or people living in low-income social spaces, low-income countries. Um, so we are very concerned about like people's needs not being met. And then there's another important point that I want to make. Uh, the international definition of abuse actually usually include this. Abuse very often occurs in the form of a willful neglect of another human being's needs. So as you can see, focusing on needs is not only of primary clinical interest, it is also a broader social political issue. I just mentioned earlier that I was invited to keynote at an international conference on sustainability. There again, I told people that sustainable development is actually a master plan for a more rational strategy for addressing human needs without compromising our potential and capacity to address our own needs in the future. So that is like, so this is like, I just want to show to you that like this focus on needs is arguably a central human theme, almost regardless of like which discipline you come from. So that is like, I think, why we have consistently emphasized this.
Right. Thank you, Todd, for elaborating on SSLD system. I do see Emma post a question in the comments.
Mhm.
So Emma is saying, does this way can be counted as one type of behavioral interventions by using AI to meet patients' needs?
Yes, actually, we what like the simplest way to put it is that we want to see if AI can enhance our capacity in responding more effectively to the needs of patients. So that I think is probably the like most succinct statement of how we are using AI. And then Emma asked an earlier question. So one of the things that we also emphasize in the use of AI is that we want to use it in a responsible and an ethical manner. And meanwhile, we try to use AI in a non-intrusive manner. And I also want to go back to this earlier comment on sustainability. A lot of people have heard about like how AI computing is consuming a lot of power and energy, and even just like cooling the computational systems that are used by AI would have like very huge environmental impact. I just want to tell people two things. One, people in the sustainability research are paying close attention and monitoring the specific energy consumption by AI and its environmental impact. Two, the general impression is that we have good news. That is like the efficiency of AI as a technology is steadily improving, meaning uh, you have a lot of, you have like way more computational power, creating hopefully less and less negative impact on the environment. And then we also have people doing very creative things. I just want to tell you one amazing experience, which also involves some old people. And that one of our startup companies in Canada talked to a convent in Quebec province in Canada where they have a group of aging nuns. So, you know, like young women do not want to become nuns these days. So the convents have difficulty recruiting new people to replace the people who have been there. So the startup company negotiated with the convent and they rebuilt a newly designed environmentally friendly residence for the remaining nuns who are aging. And in return, the church allowed the startup company to take over the convent and turn it into an environmentally friendly computing center supporting AI. They actually use a complex web of like water pipes to go in and out of the convent to take out the thermal energy and transfer it for other purposes, while the computing inside the building supports a wide range of AI functions. So this is like just an example that I want to share with people. So don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that AI is all good and there is no problem, right? There are problems, there are issues, there are like social and ethical concerns that need to be addressed. But I think I'll take it very simple. If you want to be watching and monitoring AI so that it develops in a way that is compatible with our humanity and doesn't turn into a threat uh, to us, you have to be engaged with it. Like you can only become part of the solution if you know how it works.
Right. Thank you so much, Tad. And then I think we do have a lot of questions jumping up. And I think Emma just shared another thing about AI because we were talking about AI, right? So Emma is asking, how is older people's attitude towards using AI tech?
Okay, I will give like Emma a one sentence answer. One of my PhD students, William, is actually doing his doctoral thesis on the use of information and communication technology, including AI, among seniors in Canada. So that is his doctoral thesis, and his hopefully uh, defending his thesis by the end of this year. We have been collecting data like in Canada. So Statistics Canada has been collecting very important data. So my doctoral student is actually using secondary data analysis to discover patterns of IT or ICT, like information and communication technology used among seniors. And we have, and I think one of the things that I can share with you, Emma, is that actually one, the majority of seniors are actually benefiting from information and communication technology. My mom, who is 92, for instance, is a constant user of her iPad. And she uses like social media to communicate with her friends in San Francisco, in Thailand, uh, and her relatives in Hong Kong. So what we see is that like AI has an important role to play to improve the quality of life among seniors. And we obviously are also looking at how it can be utilized to support people who are already diagnosed with dementia. So in our last live event, for people who were here last time, you'll remember I told you about the use of VR games, the virtual reality games, to help seniors diagnosed with dementia to recover some of their lost functions.
Right. Thank you so much, Todd. And I think because time is still chasing us, so I think I'll just jump to the next slides. And then I think some people already mentioned some questions. But believe me, it is really important to show some backup research now. So let's take a moment to look at the bigger picture over here around dementia and the role of informal caregivers who are often family members, partners, or close friends. So dementia is now actually the seventh leading cause of death worldwide, according to WHO, World Health Organization, and it carries an enormous financial and emotional toll. So in 2019 alone, the global economic cost was estimated over 1.3 trillion USD, and about half of this costs were linked to informal care provided by people who are not paid professionals but who step in because of love, responsibility, or even necessity. Many of them are juggling work, raising children, or dealing with their own health issues, all while supporting a loved one with dementia. So, on average, informal caregivers provide around 5 hours of care and supervision per day, which adds up quickly over weeks, months, and years. And despite this, a large longitudinal study found that 1 in 5 people with dementia receive no personal assistance at all for their basic daily needs, things like dressing, bathing, or eating. That gap we can't ignore. It reminds us of why learning-based, needs-focused support systems like SSLD do matter, because caregivers need strategies and people living with dementia need support that honors their dignity and humanity. Well, Tad, I think one of our audience actually pulled up a question that I cannot just simply ignore. I will just bring this up right now. So I do receive a direct message from one of our audience, but I wasn't really sure if the audience want to keep anonymous. So I'll just pull up the question. So the guest saying that how should we train the family caregivers, like a husband taking care of wife? What do you think, Tad?
Well, like at our one of our teaching hospitals, the Mount Sinai Hospital, we have a specific program built for caregivers, which include support and educational programs. And this online course that you were taking, right, is one of our attempts, like to make knowledge and skills available to caregivers. We try to keep the threshold very low. So like, like you can take this course for free from Coursera. I think you only pay a fee when you want to get a certificate from them. So we want to make this accessible. We have also been supporting a lot of like caregiver programs in different institutions. So I can give you a concrete example. Just before COVID, the program actually was terminated due to COVID. So just before COVID, I was invited to the Momiji retirement home, which is a facility run by Japanese organization serving Japanese seniors. And as part of my program there, I set up a social work practicum there. And my students were not only running programs for the seniors who are diagnosed with dementia, we are also training the family caregivers. So we have a parallel program, and we're actually very encouraged because the family caregivers who went through our training didn't only learn the knowledge and skills to help their own family members. They actually continue to volunteer and extend their service to the other residents of that facility. Some of them continued even after their family members passed away. So this is like a very good experience that I have with Momiji, and I hope this kind of initiative can be replicated in different parts of the world. Uh, One of our major lead teaching hospitals, Baycrest, is also uh, trying to create a public education program that can benefit caregivers by adopting the SSLD model. It is like in progress. So we have and we have been like talking to different people in different parts of the world. SSLD intervention programs, for instance, have been implemented in places like Taiwan, Hong Kong, and we have also introduced our work to several Chinese universities in mainland China. Yeah, I think this is an important question, and thanks uh, for raising it. But we're doing uh, whatever we can to support this. And I have a counter proposal for people who are here today, right? It is totally possible if people are interested to start building a global network of caregivers to support each other, to share information, share knowledge. That is totally doable. If you have like people who are interested, um, uh, I I can work with my team to support you to move in that direction. So you can get in touch with us, talk to leave a message with us after this meeting. If you're really, really interested and if you're willing to put some time and energy towards this, we are happy to support you and connect you with the right people.
Thank you so much, Ted, for addressing this question. And just add on to Ted's point, because I'm aware that some of our attendees for today were actually directly from the Eventbrite, but not from our Coursera online course. So if you go to our Coursera Skills and Learning Development in Dementia Care, you can see that Module 4, we do have mental health, social psychology, and behavioral challenges that might happen or that you might experience in your everyday life when taking care of people who is experiencing dementia. So in that module, I think there are a lot of practical skills and strategies you can learn from our online course. So if you go to that site, which is named Coursera, and later in today's session, we'll show you the name again as well to register for our course, and is relatively simple to get access to the skills and strategies you can use in daily life. Well,
I just want to also add this, like for to people, like Kim is actually creating a self-learning program for people who are interested in learning more about how to apply the SSLD model to dementia care and maybe to other areas of life as well. So she is actually building a generic self-learning program on SSLD, which I believe will be very helpful for caregivers who want to go like that is like after you've taken this like MOOC on Coursera, if you are interested to gain even more skills to move forward so that you can become more helpful in other areas of life. Watch out for the self-learning program that Kim is now putting together. I think probably will be can be made available to everyone globally by the end of this year.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Professor Todd, for mentioning about the self-learning program. We're actually trying to help people to adapt SSLD in your daily life to just do not only taking care of yourself, but taking care of your loved ones. All right, so I think there are people providing comments. Yeah, no worries. All right, all right. So let's bring everything we have been talking about into a more personal and practical context. So this is actually a case study that I created based on our AI chatbot, based on SSLD system. And this is the story of Mr. John Carter, an 81-year-old retired veteran from Cleveland, Ohio. Since losing his wife 2 years ago, he has been living with his daughter Sarah and his grandson Michael. So Mr. Carter is in a moderate stage of dementia. He is disoriented, forgetful, and at all times suspicious. So even accusing his daughter of stealing his VA, so with veteran identification card, that was later found misplaced. Sarah, his daughter, is trying to hold everything together. She's working full time. She's single caregiver and she's feeling overwhelmed. Medical appointments for her father, sorry, focus on physical health, not emotional strain or relationship dynamics. Financial resources for her are limited. And Michael, the grandson, is showing signs of distress too, withdrawn, and anxious, unsure how to respond to his grandfather's behavior. Now, we would like to show you a real life case scenario where how Sarah interact with Mr. John Carter.
Dad, time to get up.
Where's Mary?
Mum passed away 2 years ago, remember?
So, this is how their daily reaction begin. So, Sarah will knock on the door and simply say, well, it's time to get up. But Mr. Carter is asking for where's Mary, so his wife. And then he forgot his wife has already passed away 2 years ago. Well, from this case study, from what I said and what you saw, can you describe what is happening right now that you see as a problem? And second, what some unmet needs do you observe in your life? Not only Mr. Carter, but could be Sarah and could be Michael. All right. I think someone just sent me a direct message. I'll keep the someone anonymous. So I think there are some typo, but I'll try my best to read out. She is unable to comprehend that for him, the time has become still. He is gonna forget every day that his life is no more. Makes sense. Thank you. And Todd, I'm so sorry to interrupt you over here. I think we gained some comments from our lovely attendees, and I want to hear
Mhm.
back from you as well.
Okay, so I encourage people who have not been using AI, right, to use this case example and ask AI for what do you think is the best approach in situations like this, and that you may get some very interesting ideas. And I also want to tell people that the case study itself is actually generated by an AI tool that Kim has built using SSLD information. Uh, and we have now created multiple chatbots based on the SSLD knowledge system, which can respond to very specific issues, including dementia care. So I just want to say that when people are dealing with situations like this, like say for example, you have an older person who has lost a partner, asking you about the deceased loved one, what should you do, right? So in this case, you saw the daughter saying, "Oh, mom has passed away. Don't you remember?" Which I don't think is the best possible answer because depending on the person, right, some people may go through what we call like re-grieving because the person is not aware or has forgotten, and you're telling him this bad news. It can be damaging and very painful. But then we also do not encourage lying. Some people would say, oh, like, don't worry, like, uh, she's just like gone out, she'll come back and see you. Lying is usually not helpful. But you can use like fussy language. So like, she is fine, and I'm sure she's missing you as well. So, but those are sort of like superficial responses. The SSLD approach is straightforward and simple. We ask what needs are being expressed. So you have like an elderly person expressing a need. So what does he need? He needs company. He needs emotional security, right? He needs to feel that he has like people around him. So instead of like addressing the factual question, we strongly encourage you to quickly get to the need, right? So, oh, that I know that you're probably missing mom. Uh, why don't we think of like what can make you feel better today, right? This is what mom would want to see happening, I believe. So you can you like if you focus on the needs, right, then you do not get hung up on, right, should I be telling the truth? Should I lie? Should I make things up? Uh, Go straight towards the needs and try to create a set of conditions that is favorable for meeting the needs of the one that you're caring for.
Right. Thank you so much, Chad, for elaborating on the comments. I think while you are providing the comments, I thought more comments pumping up, saying,
Yep.
for example, like Vivian mentioned, the daughter must write what will be the next step, like, for example, write in the paper so that the patient will remember that his wife died 2 years ago. Yep. And Emma mentioned Thera, so the daughter, definitely needs the right strategies and resources to assist her. Yes, and can't just use a robot to assist. And then I think we received some comments from Gayatri. Please correct me if I'm pronouncing your name in the wrong way. So Gayatri mentioned for the family to understand what a dementia patient goes through is very difficult as they forget some pockets of their life, and sometimes they remember things. They feel they are just pretending to get attention. Very nice point. All the family members, oh sorry, need counseling on a regular basis, true, so that they are not overwhelmed or stressed. And Emma continued comments while I'm reading through other comments. Thank you, Emma. Memory aids for Mr. John are needed, at least some daily routine reminders, and also some photo albums, digital or not, for emotional support when Mr. John would be frustrated every time found out he has dementia. So, Todd, I would like to ask you what are your comments or feedbacks to our
Okay.
attendance
So,
feedbacks?
like, I just shared the link to the hippocamera.com website, which is the work that my colleague Morgan Behrens did. I just like she is like one of the contributors to the three update modules that we just mentioned earlier in the session. So you can check this out. So Morgan utilizes very simple procedure to get seniors to look at basically pleasant images, evoking positive emotional responses, and it has been found that this simple procedure is helpful in strengthening or rebuilding memories among people diagnosed with dementia. So this is just one example. Like this principle can be extended to other areas of life. So basically, yeah. So Emma, so I just want you to take a look at this. There are more helpful ways to utilize images like photo album. Excuse me. So that is like something for you to think about. Like you can check this out. The Hippo camera is an interesting tool, which is developed directly out of our research here at the University of Toronto. So that is like a very quick response. But then I want to also bring people back to learning how to communicate with people with dementia is a key focus of our work. So the Coursera online course that we created has offered some very helpful information and tips. We also invited many of our colleagues in our university system, clinicians who are experienced, to share their knowledge with you. The other thing that we have created, like not here and not, unfortunately, it's not created in English, but I can show you what it is. Just give me a sec. And for people who can uh, read Chinese. So Kim, I
Yeah.
am sharing the link. Oh, okay, I can share the link here. Um, so this is a link to the official website of SSLD.
Oh, Tad, I
And
think the link that you just mentioned by both Morgan and the SSLD, well, now I see it. It's just the one with the Morgan's current research was not showing up in the comment.
oh yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I inadvertently only sent it to one of our participants instead of
Okay.
everyone. So don't worry. I'm like so you get the link to our official website. For people who read Chinese, you'll find that there is a specialized course on how to communicate with people with dementia. Uh, when we can get around to it, like after Kim has completed all her like current projects, we may be able to do something about using AI to convert that course content into other languages. We are actually now working on multiple online programs in different languages. So Kim, for instance, is like in charge of a program that is going to be offered in Italian. We also have a program that we are now creating in the Somali language. Unfortunately, we only have like a very small team here at the University of Toronto. We cannot deal with all the languages at the same time. Alyssa, if you're interested, we may want to work with you to produce something in the Portuguese language. And I'm serious. I'm not just like joking. Like we can actually get serious about that. So we try to respond to regional needs, right? So like when we have uh, Momiji reaching out to us, wanting to do something for the Japanese residents, we do that. One of my social work students who is now working in Hong Kong created this like course on how to communicate with people with dementia in the local Cantonese language for the Hong Kong audience. So we have like different projects, but the world is huge and there are many languages, so there are only so much we can do at this point. We try our best to work, and AI actually has made things way simpler for us now. So like moving from one language to another is less challenging and less difficult than before.
Right. Thank you so much, Todd. And then I think those platforms is worth to check out, especially the Spire platform. We do publish a lot of course based on SSLD. Well, actually, Todd, I do have my own question that I would like to pull up over here. As we mentioned in the intimate relationship life event as well, people are easier to find what people want instead of what they need. And then for dementia care, I wonder what would be some skills or even knowledge that we need to gain for understanding what the dementia, I would say, patient were experiencing and what are they truly needs.
Mhm. So I think this Mr. Carter case example is a very good one. So just think, if we focus on what people want, we get trapped and we get like we can easily move into a blind alley. So if the answer to Mr. Carter's question or is that he missed his wife, what does he want? Right? He wanted to like still have his wife, which is obviously not possible, right? So if we follow what he wanted, you get into a blind alley, which is frustrating, disappointing, and disempowering. But instead of asking what he wanted, you ask what does he need?
Yeah.
Then it opens up a wide range of possibilities. We will say that he needs company, he needs emotional security, he needs to feel that he's in a safe space, he needs to feel that he's cared for and loved. So all of those are achievable. But bringing his wife back to life is not possible, right?
Right.
So this is like why we focus on needs instead of wants.
Yeah.
Wants is like fixated on specific objects and solutions. Needs are fluid, right? And there are multiple ways to address a need. But if you have like a specific thing that you want, right, it actually restricts your range of options. Say, for example, if you're a person with like poor self-image and you think that the only way to boost your self-image is to own a luxurious car or like a luxurious house, and if get fixated on this idea, right, chances are you won't be successful or you won't be satisfied. You got restricted. But like if you understand that like what you actually need is esteem, what you actually need is to be valued by people, then we have multiple strategies to do it.
Right. Thank you, Professor Todd, for introducing what you want is not what you need, and what you want is what you need.
Hmm.
So, this is something we want to talk about in the self-learning program. And if
Hmm.
people are interested, please feel free to pull up some questions in the Zoom chat right now, or even if you're feeling a little bit shy or do not want to speak in the public, you can email us. We'll provide an email to you so that you can get in touch with us. And then I would like to thank people who shared the comments for
Dad,
for our case study. So Mr. Cotter's real play scenario. And now I believe it will be a good time to jump to our discussion session or on Q&A. So now is a great opportunity to pull up your own questions, just like what Emma did in the chat. You can pull up any questions to me or to Professor Ka Tat Tsang, and then we'll help to address your question in terms of dementia care.
I have one question.
Please go ahead, Emma.
Thank you. So what could be the best strategies for Sarah to deal with this kind of situation because her father often forget things like so if her father keep asking the same having the same situation like every day every time, so how can Sarah have a effective strategy to deal with it because his father often asks of remember forgot everything.
Okay, so I'm like following the suggestions that I gave earlier. Is like if you recognize the needs that are expressed by Mr. Carter, right? As I said, like the needs would include like a sense of emotional security, being in a space that he's familiar with, he and amount of various things that he missed regarding his wife. If you're his daughter, then you may have some idea what are the things that are most significant or um, um, that are most meaningful to him, right? So even like getting him to do things that are pleasant, that will bring back pleasant memories, would help. Uh, he may like sometimes remember and sometimes doesn't. So we go with the flow. So as I said, the focus is not on the fact whether mom has passed away or not. The focus is on what does he need, what will make him feel better now. And then we focus on those. And there will always be things that we can do. We understand that like there are moments when he's not in a good mood, so you do not want to like remind him that, oh, like your wife has passed away, and she's no longer around. That probably wouldn't help. But like when he's in a better mood and he's in a more engaging mode, that might not be a bad idea, right? To sort of like get him to think of like things that he could now do now that he has lost his wife. So it is like, but the other thing, of course, is like we now have like a lot of tools at our disposal to help people rebuild their memory. They're not all very effective, like depending on how severe the memory loss is and how consistent it is. Um, so we do not focus on regaining the memory. We've tried to do that. Hopefully, like a generic cognitive improvement can be achieved, but it is not always possible. So, like our recommendation still is like focus on his needs, make him feel comfortable. You can see that like if an older person with dementia is engaging in activities that he enjoys, in the case of Mr. Carter, uh, it is less likely that he will like dwell on losses, absence, and painful or unpleasant past experience.
Thank you. So we can see it as a daily routine, but not a problem.
Mhm.
Yeah, thank you, Professor Ting, for replying to Emma's question. And then I think Professor Ting mentioned something that is quite important that we did not cover in today's live session, but we do cover in our course area, is the N3C. So N stands for needs, and then C, the three C stands for circumstances, characteristics, and capacity. It is really important to be aware of people's N3C before we dive into the help process. All right, so I did not want to interrupt people's progress in asking questions. I saw Vivian is pulling up an amazing question over here, and I hope you don't mind me to read that out loud. So I think Vivian mentioned, is is it good effect on a dementia patient to fight with him or her? Like, for example, the patient needs to take a shower, but the patient doesn't like to take the shower. But the caregiver really wants the patients to do it because he is already stunk. What is the good strategy? That's a really great question,
Okay.
Vivian.
So first of all, like Vivian, this is like I'm not kidding. This is like a billion-dollar question. Let me tell you why. For people who are familiar with like caregiving for people with dementia, you'll know that uh, um, showers or taking a bath is very often a huge challenge. If you talk to people who are personal support workers, or like they're called different names in different parts of the world, sometimes they're called personal care workers, sometimes they're called nursing aides, depending on the country and the area of the world you're in. So these wonderful people who have been like taking care of like people with dementia on a regular basis will all tell you that like taking a shower is a constant struggle. So there are a few general principles here. One, when someone resists something, usually it's because the experience is unpleasant, right? So the question is like, how can we make this less unpleasant or more pleasant, right? Instead of like, no, you stink, you have to take it. Using force is not good. Uh, but I just want to say something about fighting. Like it depends on what you mean by fighting. Fighting can be fun. Like fighting to some seniors is better than neglect, right? And like social exclusion and isolation. So we can have like a fun way to fight, right? So you can do like a game with the senior person and say, hey, like why don't we do this? If you if you win, right? I will not bother you with a shower for the next 24 hours. If you lose, you have to do it. So you turn this into something that is not confrontational or adversarial. The general idea here is if the shower and the bath is an enjoyable experience, then there is no need to fight. So this is like the general direction that we want us to think about. So how can we make the shower place more comfortable, feel more secure? How do we give the senior person more control over the process? Uh, and if some people might have like privacy concerns. Some people may feel ashamed that like they have lost certain bodily functions, like bladder control or bowel control. They didn't want people to watch them in this embarrassing situation. So if we understand what the needs and concerns are, there are better ways to do it. The other thing, of course, is like if you look at this cross-culturally, then you understand that like very often our obsession with like you have to take a shower 3 times a week is our obsession. Uh, there is no definite rule regarding like what is the right number. I would say that like as like healthy adults without dementia ourselves, right? I don't know if I can ask this question. So how many showers do you take it on a weekly basis? I believe there will be different answers among us, the people who are here, right? And then if I ask a more subjective question, uh, how enjoyable it is for you to take a shower. And then again, I think we have different answers among ourselves. So I will recommend us to try to explore this. And then the other thing, which is like a major discovery for me, and I want to share that with everyone here, is that when I created the Play Intervention for Dementia program back in 2013, uh, I realized something that I didn't know before. That is like seniors, even with dementia, they like to play. They enjoy playing. So like turning things into a game, like play with them. You may think that wow, like this person is 90-year old. Like why do we want to play with them in the shower? Actually, if you turn the shower into an interesting game that is enjoyable, uh, you will be coming across less resistance. So we have actually used this principle not only with shower, we use it with food too. So like sometimes you have like the difficulty with feeding and taking meals. Again, if you turn it into a game, it will make it easier. Right. But of course, I mean, I understand that if you have a busy schedule, you only have like a limited amount of time, you probably will find that, oh no, I cannot do that. Like if I spend more time, especially if you're working in a professional job where you have to say feed like 20 people in the dining area, uh, it may not be that easy. But I can share our experience with you. Once you turn something into a fun thing and you're running up against less resistance, you actually will find your work performance and efficiency going up instead of going down.
Well, thank you, Tad, for sharing. And in terms of game, I actually sent a YouTube link to our YouTube channel, and this is actually what Professor Tad has developed. It's called PID Transformation and Improvement for Dementia Clients.
Thank you, Kim. Like this is yeah, so this is like something that I think people can take a look at and see how we have used the PID program to help people with dementia.
your face.
Oh, Lana. Oh, Lana.
Thank you. Good boy. You're many, too many.
Not too small.
Works this time.
That's just
Crisp. Okay. Yeah. Excellent. Wow. Good job. Oh, wow.
Sorry, I think the video stopped. Right. I'll stop sharing from here.
Thank you. Thank you, Kim. This is actually great. And I also want to respond quickly to Emma. So she has pointed out an important concept in positive psychology. There's the concept of the flow, which is something that has caught our attention. When you're in a group situation, when you're with a group of people with dementia, the flow becomes very obvious. We use a different language to describe it, and we have now been looking into the neuroscience space of this. That is like what we call interpersonal synchrony, and it has become a growing focus in neurobiology. People in neuroscience have been looking at like mirror neurons and how interpersonal synchronization can possibly lead to a more generic improvement in cognitive functions. So this is like something that some people are looking at. We are following closely on that line of research as well. Thank you, Emma, for um, introducing that concept. Very often, when you're interacting with someone with dementia, you can subjectively feel the rhythm or the flow. One of the games that we highly recommend for most people, like obviously you have to pay attention to safety and look at your space. It is a simple game that family members can play with people with dementia. That is very simple. That is like throwing and catching the ball. And that, like, although it sounds very simple, there were like so many dimensions of it, right? And I'm not exaggerating. I can easily name maybe a couple dozen of functions, like just by playing this ball, throwing and catching. Let me give you a technical example. So one time I was in a professional context, and we have like a manager of a long-term care facility who actually is not particularly friendly to what I am introducing. She is actually quite critical of the work that I'm doing. And she wants to come up with like reasons for not doing what I recommended. So one of the things she said, oh, but professor, like many of the people that we have here not only have dementia, they also have arthritis, and they will have pain if you ask them to like extend their digits to catch a ball. It can cause pain, and it will cause resistance. That's just like my response to her. Like all her colleagues are there and present, and everyone had experience, right? So they know that I'm not bluffing. So I said, okay, like anyone with arthritis would have like a comfortable grip size. Like, so you can have like a ball that fits like a comfortable grip size, right? So start with that so that it will not cause pain for the person to grip. And I can tell you, because we actually have like tons of experience with doing this, when you get excited, you will experience what we call like improved digital extension. All right. And if you allow the senior to choose the size of the ball that they want to play with, right? You will soon find that like as they get excited, the size doesn't matter anymore. And then you'll find that like many of them would forget about the pain and the activity actually helps them. So this is just one example. And then of course, ball throwing and catching is interpersonal synchronization. It will also enhance what we call bilateral coordination. Sometimes we deliberately get people to use the ball throwing and catching with the dominant hand first, and then we want them to try it with their non-dominant hand. It is obviously always easier for you to catch a ball with both hands, right? But you can change the challenge level just by modifying like which hand that you're using. And then obviously the size of the ball. We actually have tons of balls. Like there are balls that are more bouncy, that are balls that are less bouncy, and therefore it moves less rapidly and it's easier to catch. So, and then we have balls of different textures. Like we have balls with spikes, and then we have balls that is with a smooth surface. We have like um, balls like with a very smooth fabric to give people a sense of comfort. But we also have like more like cold plastic balls. So you can also have balls that are plain. You can also have balls like with like faces and animals like whatever painted on them. So the ball game, right, is a simple concept, but like I can tell you there are dozens of variations with it, and then depending on how we play it, it can actually target different cognitive and psychomotor functions with people diagnosed with dementia. So the play intervention with dementia is like a deceptively simple design, but I can tell you every exercise and game uh, can be referring to different theories and research knowledge. But we try to make the threshold very minimal so that like family members who are not necessarily well educated or have received professional training can use them to their benefit. So this is like how we develop the program. The video that you saw was actually sponsored by the Ontario Trillium Foundation, who generously supported the beginning phase of our research and development of the program starting in 2013. And every time I have the opportunity, I will acknowledge them for their support for our research and development.
Right. Thank you so much, Todd. And then please let us know if you have any other questions since we only have 3 minutes left. Um, but don't worry about missing connection with us. So we do want to share something else with you. And then I'll start sharing. So as you can see over here, we want to inform people who know us from Eventbrite. We do have two really successful online courses on Coursera. One is the knowledge and skills for dementia care, the SSLD approach, which is the purpose and the main theme of today's live events. And then we do have another course that is quite successful. It's called The Art and Science of Relationships, Understanding Human Needs. This is essential course for SSLD, and then it is quite successful. As I mentioned earlier, we're ranking the third popular online course on well-being by CNBC. The report is very easy to find. I would love to share the report with you after today's live events. And also, as I mentioned, we do want to stay in touch with you. So please connect with us through this email, teamtanguft@gmail.com. And we really appreciate any questions, any comments about dementia, or even is a comments about any mental health issues or experiences that you are facing currently or even faced before. And then please let us know if you have any follow-up question. Since we do have 1 more minute left. And then if no, then I would like to say thank you for attending today's live event. And then I really appreciate all your support. Thank you, Emma.
Thank you. Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you very much for this opportunity.
For being the first person to open up the microphone and would love to introduce yourself. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Oh, thank you, Cecily from Switzerland. Thank you.
Yeah, like I want to thank people. Like it seems that we have people like from the UK, we have people from Nigeria and Brazil and Switzerland. Like I want to thank everyone for joining us.